Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to do is we're going to do a question here based on the topic of the ellipse, and specifically a question here based around this Batman logo here. Okay, now this question here is based around, as I said, the area of the ellipse, and it specifically comes under a chapter in your book possibly called conics as well. Okay, so for an ellipse we're going to use the concentric circles method, okay, which you probably will have experienced if you're coming to this video here based on this Batman logo. And as always with the concentric circles method, we always have to work out what is the length of our major axis and minor axis. So it says here, the drawing on the right shows the Batman logo. The outline of the design is elliptical. So there is the outline showing the elliptical shape. Draw the design to the given measurements. Okay, so we're always going to do this. We always work out the overall length of our major. And the major is the long part of the ellipse. In this case, going from this point here to this point. And that is 140 long. Okay, and then what is our minor, which is the short part going from the top down to the bottom, and we can see that that is 80. Now, what we have to do with those axes, okay, the major axis is 140, but we have to split it, and we're going to get a radius of 70 to get our major circle. Likewise with the minor, the overall from the top to the bottom is 80. If we split it in half, we get 40. So I'm going to do one circle radius 70, which is my major circle, which corresponds with the major axis, and another circle radius 40 millimeters, which is my minor circle, which corresponds with the minor axis. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. So to set up this question, what we're going to do, roughly in the middle of our page, we're going to start off with a horizontal line, and then through that horizontal line, I'm going to do, doesn't really matter exactly where, I'm going to pick a point roughly in the middle, about there, and then I'm going to do a vertical line a little bit up and a little bit down through it. Now, on the horizontal line, I'm going to measure my both radiuses, and the radius for the major axis from the center point there was 70, and the radius for my minor axis was 40. So I have a radius 70 and a radius 40. Now what I'm going to do is put my compass on the center point, start with the small circle, which is the minor circle. I'm going to draw in my minor circle. Now, extending out my compass out to the radius 70, I'm going to draw in my major circle. Okay, that is why it is called the concentric circles method for drawing the ellipse, because we have two circles that share the same center point. Now, straight away, what I always note is points on my ellipse. So at either end of the major axis, which is here and here, I have 2 points. And I always like to write in MAJ and note the direction of my major axis. Now I've also got 2 points at the top and bottom of my minor axis. And I'm also going to write up here MIN, which stands for minor, and that goes up and down. Okay, so there we have it. That is our major and our minor axis and our major and our minor circle put in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to split that up into kind of clock faces or pizza slices. So I'm going to go 30 degrees through the center this way, just like that. I'm going to go 30 degrees through the center the opposite direction. I'm now going to go at 60 degrees through the center, because 30 and 30 is 60. And likewise with the last one, going in a vertical, sorry, not in a vertical direction, but 60 degrees in the opposite direction. And there we go. Now, the method here for constructing an ellipse is where any one of these division lines, let's take this as the line number 10, because that's the 10 o'clock position on a clock, where that cuts the minor circle, so where it intersects through the small circle, the minor circle, I want to go parallel to the major axis, which means I either go to the left or the right. So in this case here, I'm going to go to the left. Where the same division line continues on and intersects with the major circle, I want to go parallel to the minor axis, which means I either go up or down. And in this case, I'm going to go down. And what that does is, it helps me to locate another point on my elliptical curve. Okay, so there's another point in my elliptical curve. And we repeat that process for each individual division line. So, likewise at the opposite side, here I'm going to go to the right, and I'll go up here and I'll do all the minor circle ones first, left and right. Come down to the bottom, move over to the left, move over to the right, left and right. And then everywhere it cuts the major circle on the bottom half, I'm going to go vertical. Don't have to do anything down here because we've got the point there already, at either end of the minor axis. Okay, that's after helping us find a series of other points, and then I'm going to do it from up here. Slip there a little bit. So where it's cutting my major circle, I'm going to drop it down parallel to the minor axis and locate all my other points that are on my elliptical curve, just using the marker to identify them. Okay, so all those points are on my elliptical curve now. What you can do at this point in the video is you can move it forward if you know what to do here. If not, you can follow the video, and what we're going to do is we're going to sketch in the curve. So, as best you can, you're going to try and make the curve flow as smooth as possible. So there we go. So that's one quadrant of my ellipse done. I should say maybe 1/4. Quadrant is more in relation to a circle. There's the next one. Now I'm working onto the bottom half. And try and make sure it's not hatchy. It flows in a lovely smooth pattern. Okay, so we continue on in this sequence all the way around. Okay, and there is my ellipse. My ellipse is completed. Now I'm not going to heavy it in just yet because obviously there's details inside here I have to put in for the Batman logo. Now for the Batman logo, okay, I'm just going to zoom in here. What I want to do is I'm going to focus on the bottom portion first. And you can see it's obviously symmetrical, which means basically it's the same on the right hand side as it is the left hand side. So my radius for this arc here would also be radius 20 as it is here. The one for this arc will be radius 15. I have to locate these center points here and here. So how am I going to locate them? Well, from the bottom part of my ellipse, you can see clearly we have to measure 20 millimeters to the left. And where that line then cuts through the elliptical curve will give me the center point, radius 20. I will do my radius 20, and where that exact radius 20 then, when I do that arc, and where it cuts through the ellipse here, that will give me my next center point of a radius 15. So that's what I'm going to do. So, zoom out there slightly. From the bottom, I'm just going to do a little line left and right through it like that, so that I can measure accurately. And I'm going to measure from the center point, or from the bottom of the ellipse, sorry. I measure 20 out. So I'll mark 20 to the right, and I'm also going to mark 20 to the left. Okay, now that I've marked 20 to the left and right, what I want to do is I want to do a small little vertical line. See right from here. Just a little line like that, and a little line like that. But more importantly is it has identified to me my exact center point there and there. Now, with 20 on my compass, I'm going to switch out to my compass here. With 20 on my compass, which I'm just going to get using my T-square here. So putting it on the 30, marking as far as the 32. That's 20 millimeters as my radius. I want to now put my compass on this one here, the center point that I've located, and draw in as best I can. Perfect. So that's my little curve there. I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. That looks to be working out perfect. Okay, now what that's after telling me is where I'm after finding my next center point here and here. And that has a radius of 15. So, once again, using my set square or my T-square, onto the 30 is the one I'm using, setting 15 as a radius on my compass. I'm going to do the exact same thing, then using the new center points. I'm going to swing an arc in there. Okay, and in here, from this point. Okay. So, there we have it. We've done the bottom portion of the curve. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to do the top portion. So how do I find the center points? We have a radius 15 circle here, and a radius 15 circle here, and then we'll work on to the kind of top portion of the bat sign. So, from the center of my ellipse, okay, which is this point in here at the very start, I'm going to measure out a distance of 25, and then I'm going to measure up a distance of 25. So you can see out 25 and up 25 to locate my center. And then when I've found my center, I measure a distance there, or sorry, I'm doing a circle there of radius 15. So from the center point, I'm going to measure out 25 to the right, and I'll also do it the exact same to the left. So after I've measured out 25 both to the right and the left, I'm going to do a line up and up. Now, I'm going to measure up along those lines 25 to find the exact center point. So using my set square, measuring up 25, I've marked it on one. I can just simply, when I've marked that one, I can use my t-square then to line it up. Now I've located my center. What I'm going to do again, once again, setting 15 on the compass to 30, sorry, it's 31.5. I'm simply then going to do my circle. Okay, so there we go. So there's that much. And I'll do the exact same on this side. Now, you can see it's quite small. It's a little slippage there. Okay, and there we go. Now, what I am going to do is I will actually connect the centers, because that's going to tell me then where the bat sign from this point and this point goes vertical. Okay, and at that point there, that's going to go up vertical here and vertical here. Okay, now at this point, I am going to start heavying in a little bit. So at this point here, you can see I'm going to start heavying in as best I can. Because we always want to outline our detail. So that goes in as far as that point, and you can see where the curve hits here. I'm going to do the exact same on this side. The exact same thing. Okay, that is the outside detail. Now, just going to switch out the lead on my compass, put in the marker, make it stand out a little bit more. Hopefully it doesn't slip on me. Starting with this one, taking my time. So I'll go heavy in as far as there. Onto this one then. There we go. Same thing on this side. I'll go heavy to there. And the exact same with this one. Okay, and that is the bottom portion of the Batman logo. Now what I'm going to do is start heavying in the top portion. So I'll do this as best I can now. And this will just go heavy up until it hits the 3 o'clock position on the clock here. Happy with that. Likewise on the opposite side, from the 9 o'clock all the way around. So now obviously on the day of an exam or anything like that, you'll be using a pencil. So you do your best to heavy it in as best you can, outlining the detail. And then from here, I'll go vertically up to the top of the ellipse.
O'Connor to reception, please. Rania O'Connor to reception.
Okay, so there we have it. Now we have to get in the top portion, and you can see here, if we look at my sheet, from the center point, I'm going to measure up a distance of 30, and then from that center point then, that I have this one here, I can do a horizontal line, and from the middle, I can measure 5 to the right and 5 to the left, because that's my 10. Okay, so from the center, I'm just going to use the 10 here as my guide. So from the 10, I'm going to mark up 30 millimeters, which will bring me up as far as 13 centimeters. So there, do a horizontal line left and right, and then I'm going to measure 5 millimeters to the left, 5 millimeters to the right, and I simply connect those like this. And that will help me make, I suppose, the ears of the bat. There's that, and there's that. And then heavying in this guy across. And there you have it, guys. That there is the Batman logo done using the elliptical or the concentric circles method to get our elliptical shape. Okay, hope you found it helpful, guys. That's the video done. Okay.